The official program for French President Emmanuel Macron's two-day visit to China begins in Beijing, where Chinese President Xi Jinping welcomes him at the Great Hall of the People. The visit includes planned discussions on the war in Ukraine, calls for a ceasefire, and ongoing trade tensions between the European Union and China. The welcome ceremony starts with President Xi Jinping standing at the entrance, waiting for the arrival of the French delegation. The Chinese leader maintains position as the escort vehicles approach the venue. This marks the beginning of the official protocol for the state-level visit. Moments later, the car carrying French President Emmanuel Macron enters the compound. Macron steps out alongside his wife, Brigitte Macron. The couple is greeted by Xi Jinping and his wife, Peng, Liyuan. The two presidents shake hands as photographers capture the moment. The exchange marks the formal start of the bilateral engagement, which Beijing describes as an important diplomatic meeting amid ongoing international tensions. Brigitte Macron and Peng Liyuan exchange greetings and shake hands shortly after the presidents meet. Both First Ladies join their spouses for the ceremonial photographs at the entrance of the Great Hall of the People. President Macron and President Xi stand side by side for an official photograph. The two leaders remain at the front while their respective spouses stand nearby, following the standard diplomatic protocol for a state visit. The photograph session precedes the escort toward the main ceremony hall. The four, Brigitte Macron, Emmanuel Macron, Xi Jinping, and Peng Liyuan, walk from the entrance toward the hall where the formal ceremony will take place. Military personnel are positioned ahead to participate in the welcoming procedures. A formation of Chinese soldiers is lined up outside the hall as part of the reception ceremony. The troops stand at attention as Macron proceeds along the walkway. The presence of the honor guard is consistent with China's standard protocol when receiving heads of state. Macron greets both French and Chinese representatives upon arrival at the front of the ceremony area. The sequence includes greetings with diplomats, senior officials, and accompanying delegation members. Macron and Xi Jinping then walk together toward the podium where the official welcome ceremony begins. The two leaders move to their marked positions for the playing of the national anthems of France and China. The ceremony proceeds with both presidents standing for the anthems. Macron and Xi listen as the music is performed, marking the formal start of the state visit. Following the welcome ceremony, the two sides are expected to begin discussions on bilateral and international issues. According to official briefings ahead of the visit, Macron intends to raise the subject of the ongoing conflict in Ukraine. His stated goal is to encourage Beijing to support a ceasefire and use its influence to help stabilize the situation. Chinese officials have reiterated their position that negotiations are the preferred path to ending the conflict. Trade relations remain another major item on the agenda. European Union leaders, including France, have repeatedly expressed concern about market access, industrial overcapacity, and subsidy-driven competition affecting European manufacturers. China maintains that its economic policies comply with international rules and emphasizes that cooperation, rather than confrontation, should define China-EU relations. The visit also includes expanded talks between French and Chinese delegations, focusing on economic agreements, climate cooperation, and cultural exchanges. French officials have signaled that Macron will raise questions about trade imbalances and the competitiveness of European industries facing pressure from Chinese imports. China has indicated that it welcomes deeper cooperation and opposes what it describes as protectionist measures in Europe. The discussions on Ukraine remain a central element of Macron's agenda. French officials argue that China's position carries significant weight due to its close relationship with Russia. Beijing, however, has continued to avoid criticizing Moscow directly. China maintains that it does not support unilateral sanctions and calls for what it describes as a balanced approach in negotiations. Macron's visit follows months of diplomatic efforts by European leaders to encourage China to take a more active role in international crisis management. France has emphasized the need for a stable global environment and, according to senior French diplomats, hopes the meetings will result in a clearer Chinese stance on reducing escalation risks in Ukraine. In addition to geopolitical issues, the two presidents are expected to discuss economic cooperation. Topics include aviation, energy transition, agricultural access, and potential industrial partnerships. France seeks clearer rules, transparency, and reciprocity in its economic engagements with China. Chinese authorities highlight long-term collaboration and mutual economic benefits. The first day of the visit includes a series of official meetings, bilateral talks, and expanded delegation sessions. Macron is also expected to attend cultural activities consistent with the France-China Cultural Cooperation Framework established in recent years. Chinese state media have emphasized the importance of the visit, describing it as a step towards strengthening China-France cooperation at a time of global uncertainty. French media have highlighted the significance of the war in Ukraine and the trade imbalance between Europe and China as core points Macron will address. Macron's team has stated that stabilizing international supply chains will also be part of the talks, particularly as Europe and China navigate ongoing competition in critical sectors, including electric vehicles, renewable energy equipment, and digital technologies. Officials from both sides are expected to discuss regulatory standards and long-term cooperation prospects. Security concerns also appear in the background of the visit. European governments have raised concerns over cybersecurity, strategic infrastructure, and technological dependencies. France is expected to bring these issues to the table during closed-door discussions. China asserts that it supports global technological advancement and rejects accusations of security risks associated with its companies. On Ukraine, French officials highlight the importance of China reinforcing messages that territorial integrity must be respected and that attacks on civilians are unacceptable. China reiterates that it supports negotiation and dialogue while opposing what it calls bloc confrontation and the expansion of military alliances. The itinerary for the visit includes a working dinner, additional talks, and a review of bilateral agreements signed during the sessions. Macron is expected to use these meetings to express Europe's view that China must ensure compliance with international trade regulations, particularly in sectors where the EU considers Chinese industry to be over-subsidized. On the diplomatic side, China continues to advocate for what it describes as multipolar global governance. France maintains that cooperation must be paired with respect for international law and economic fairness. The two leaders are expected to address global crises, climate objectives, and regional stability as part of their broader dialogue. The ceremonial welcome marks the beginning of 2 days of high-level diplomatic activity. The visit reflects ongoing European efforts to maintain engagement with China while navigating geopolitical and economic differences. As the two leaders move into closed-door talks, France seeks commitments on Ukraine, balanced economic competition, and enhanced cooperation in strategic sectors. China aims to deepen diplomatic ties with France and reinforce its broader engagement with the European Union. The meeting between Xi Jinping and Emmanuel Macron underscores the continued relevance of China-Europe relations at a time when global tensions and economic challenges continue to shape international diplomacy. The visit will conclude with official statements and a review of any agreements or joint positions reached over the 2 days of discussions. The formal welcome in Beijing sets the stage for 2 days of negotiations focused on Ukraine, trade, and broader China-France cooperation.